Hi guys, I'm back for another review. This time it's a little bit interesting because it's not figures. Well, it's a figure. Essentially what I did is I was in town today. I worked for Games Workshop in 1998 for a few months in the summer, over the summer, and I was 16. It was at the last sort of time that they employed anybody of that age, really. Essentially didn't work out because I was studying for my A-levels, and what they demand of you, what they demanded of you at that time was kind of like a complete and utter focus, which I wasn't obviously going to give them whilst doing my exams. But anyway, it's been a long time, having been introduced to the world of wargaming through Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000, like many of us were or have been. It's been a long time since I've played any of the games, and the whole new Primaris Marine thing, I mean, it's probably been about 8 to 10 years since I played my last game of 40k, and I guess I just wanted to have a look and see what changed. And like I say, with the Primaris Marines coming out, it's kind of left me in a quandary. I don't know enough about it in some ways, or so I've been told, to judge it, I guess. So I went in and the guys were talking to me. I saw this on the shelf. It's £5, and apparently it gives you an introduction to the sort of the newer take on the 40,000 universe, because it's obviously been taken for another step towards the grim dark even more. So it's they've moved the timeline on, so they've said, and this kind of new phase has got lots of different things in it. Now, bearing in mind that the White Dwarf is more expensive than this, I figured that for the figure I could use in the lineups. You've got some of the figures there from earlier still. I kind of figured that maybe I'd just get it and see what it's like. So obviously it's still in cellophane. I haven't even opened it yet. That is the first step. Figure out the best way to get into this. It's going to be one of the long lines on the outside, so let's go with that. So obviously the first thing to be slightly aware of is the Primaris Marine that comes on a sprue in it, which kind of makes it worth it in its own right, because I believe the squad of those is about £35, which is interesting itself. So we've got both of those. Don't worry, this mat doesn't come off. It's just old. It's got the crazy kind of randomly gluey stuff on these packs. So I'll just get the Marine out of the blister. Ooh. There you go. And he is massive. Probably a bit bigger than I even thought he was going to be. Yeah, his chest, top of his chest is about the same height as a normal Marine. So I'll do a close up of that in a minute when I fiddle around my light a bit more, or move it out of the way. It might zoom into shot in a minute because it does this thing where it doesn't want to stay up at the moment. Anyway, so the magazine itself, as you'd expect, glossy as most of the Games Workshop magazines, etc. are. It's well bound. It's a bit like one of the old army books and the codexes. Obviously they've gone back to being hardback now, but that's the kind of quality you're getting. So I'll just flick through some of the pages. Obviously there's a nice little part here to tell you how to put together your Space Marine, which is quite cool. So it's got the 41st millennium, although we're kind of forward a bit more than that now, I think. Or is it just... So you got Dark Imperium, which is the sort of like, you know how like the superheroes all had that, the Ultimates. It seems a lot like how they're doing that, apart from they're going to be calling this the Dark Imperium sort of era. So it's got a bit about the Dark Imperium. Oh look, Space Marines. That is a surprise. And they're all the Primaris ones, intriguingly. Legions of Chaos. Armies of the Imperium. They're not the Imperial Guard anymore. Astra Militum Militarum. So you've got some bits. It looks like you've got a bit of a blurb on each of the different forces. Now, my guess is that there's probably all of this in the main rulebook. Because that's what they've done in the past. Obviously, I haven't bought the main rulebook because at this point I'm still not really sure whether I'm going to be playing this version of the game yet. I might do. I mean, the one thing I do like is that they've got the various different starter sets now. So, you know, you've got the one that's like 90 odd quid, or I can't remember how much, 60, 70 odd quid. You've got one that's like 40, 50, and you've got another one that's like 25. And I've done that with the Age of Sigmar one. I haven't played it yet. I plan to have a read of the rules and then run through a very basic game here on for the Platypus channel. Possibly playing or getting my wife to help me out with that. So we shall see. So yes, it's all got a different bit of different armies. Although interestingly, I've got Tyranids and Genocidacults. Do they get more than one page? No. They've got the Xenos threat, which is Orcs, Tau. It seems a bit harsh that you've got like every force up to there has got a complete double page spread to itself. The Eldari, or Eldar to those of you who started when I did, or before, they've got a Dark Eldar and like your typical Eldar there, as well as Harlequins. I kind of get that. Then it goes, oh look, Orcs, Necrons and Tau Empire. And I'm like, Orcs like used to be one of the big races. I don't know if they must still be, but they've got a third of a page. Tyranids and Genocidacults. Collecting Citadel miniatures. That used to be like a little... That in itself, those of you old school will remember the little flyers that they used to hand out. Changed fairly regularly. But one of them had an old Imperator Titan on the front of it. Where to start? Well, the shop maybe, or the web store maybe. Collecting to play, collecting to display. Oh, that's nice. So they've recognised, I know they've done this before, this isn't anything new, but they've actually put in here collecting to display. So like the people that maybe just want to buy the figures because they enjoy painting and building them, it's quite nice. Collection Ultramarines, not boring. Nurgle, nice. Got like a bit of Nurgle. Eldari Warhost, so it's nice. They're doing like a little army study. Yes. And some of the pictures that used to be going around online before the new edition came out, and then people were going, "Oh my God, it's got a lady in the pictures. She can't play war games. What's going on?" It's crazy. And then criticised for GW trying to market it to a general market. So you know they could do no right at this point, because you know ladies shouldn't be playing war games, or girls shouldn't be playing war games. And then, oh well, they're only pandering. They're only trying to sort of like, you know, when you see those marketing campaigns that have tried to represent every single possible different person in them. Personally, I have no issue whatsoever. I think it's just a bit of a joke. One of my friends made an even funnier joke that the guy's about to roll dice onto his figures, which is even more funny in some ways. But anyway, yeah, so that's a bit of a joke, that people taking the mickey out of that. A bunker. Okay. So like in a White Dwarf, it's got a battle report in it to give you an idea perhaps of how the game plays, which would be nice. I'm going to read through that. This looks like it's something that I might read. I haven't bought it, of course. But it looks fun, and the battle report is the bit that might help me understand how the rules work a bit more, and whether I'm going to like playing them or not. Although I do believe there are more than one version of the game, so it'll be interesting to see if they show us more than one version. So that must have been the smaller one, because the smaller version, because it says want to play bigger games or bigger battles. No. So no fear. That one That's the one that's this sort of medium-sized game. It's about 40 odd quid. And that, I have to say, again, is tempting because you get some really quite nice models in there. Get the Nurgle Flyer thing. Got Death Guard. Yeah. So it looks like Plague Swarms. Superhuman Armored Warriors. There. We always knew that about Space Marines. They're always superhuman and they're always armoured. So these are that bit is obviously for sort of the newer people. And then it's got even more about the different armies. Oh, nice double page spread of a battle in mid-flow with your old Robert Guilliman. Eternity of War, that's nice. Warzone Ultramarines. Oh, that's quite cool. And you got some Space Marines chilling out by a pillar, being attacked by lots of nasties. Warzone Cadia. Okay, so this is catching you up on the recent campaign and storyline, which is good. Warzone Armageddon. Everybody likes Armageddon. That's kind of like, I don't know, those of you long enough in the tooth will remember that's where there was a campaign before, and they did a re-release of some of the epic stuff, called it Epic Armageddon. Okay, so we've got some more pictures of stuff. Yeah, there's little things. Like it's got gun shield on the front of what looks to be like a bolter. It's just kind of odd to me. Otherwise you're kind of same sort of stuff. Showcase, but you get some of this in a White Dwarf. Again, this was cheaper than a White Dwarf. It's kind of crazy not to get it. Some people may want to, some people might not. Okay, so that's from the last starter set, which is probably one of the best ones going. The Chaos stuff in that is worth it. So yeah, painting miniatures, it's really cool. Let's just see who else it's got. So paint system, painting techniques, dry brushing. Do not go and dry brush all your figures unless you really are just starting out. It's really quick and easy, but it doesn't always end up looking very good. Great for terrain, works fantastically on terrain. Oh, how to undercoat your figures with a spray. This is some of the bit where I start to understand kind of some of it. They produced it in blue plastic, right? I'm not being crazy here. They're just telling you to undercoat a blue Space Marine, which is blue plastic, in black paint. Why didn't they just make? I mean, why? Why does it have to be a blue coloured? If you're only going to paint it black again, may as well still be grey like it used to be. I suppose it's just for the people that don't want to paint and just want to play. I suppose the argument is you can just snap fit, more or less, push fit, more or less. Yeah, it is. Put them together and play as they are. Although it's got a blue base, and you can. It looks a bit better than just being all grey. But anyway, it gives you an idea of how to paint. Yeah, this isn't looking good. That guy's backpack decided it looks ropey. Anyway, so dry brushing and glazing and basing. Clearly not the same base that they provide you with the figure. Technical paints, quite fun. I recommend the technical paints, they are really quite good. and then how to paint the different types of stuff that come in the set, the larger sets. These are all figures from the larger sets. Oh, another double page spread of the Ultramarines about to repel. Oh, that's quite nice. They got some of the old Space Marines in there still. So some of the traditional Space Marines. In fact, I think it's an army of them. I can't see any Primaris in there. Ah. Be interesting to see in a few years whether these guys are still hanging around or they've been completely replaced by the Primaris Marines. Ooh, ready for war. Big double page spread on somebody having a city fight. Rather nice. Data sheets. This is the new thing. Something that I've always thought was a way better idea. Things like data sheets. I've always liked the idea of the games where all the information you need for a unit is on a card. And that way when you go and have your army, and like, I mean, you might, when I used to play, you might have a couple of units of tactical marines, a couple of characters, maybe an assault squad or a scout squad. You probably only needed like a maximum of 6 or 7 cards. And it's way better than having to flip through a rule book all the time. And then there's also this sort of like, you can use them as an activation system if you really wanted to. You shuffle them up, take it in turns to flip over a card, and stuff like that. It's, yeah. So anyway, I approve of those. The data sheets are slightly different. I think they do have cards still. There you go, a battle round. So the core rules. This is good. This is what I got it for. It's just going to show you through the basics of the rules. Movement phase. So we all know these things. The psychic phase, perils of the war. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Shooting phase, lovely. Weapon types. Charge phase. Fight phase. Ah. Morale phase. Fighting a battle. Mission the battlefield, battle zones. Warlord trait. Okay. So this is blatantly just going to be a straightforward battle for this one. They're just going to say, yeah. Well, that's nice. I think. Oh, there you go. That's the smallest version of the game on there. £25 in your local Games Workshop gets you that. Obviously, for those of you who may go elsewhere, you'll probably find it slightly cheaper. So yeah, that gets you 6 Primaris Marines. It looks like 3 Noble Marines or Death Guard or whatever you want to call them, and 6 of the Poxwalkers or whatever they're called. So yeah, and some dice and a paper. Is it a paper battle mat? It's like a paper battle mat. But yeah, so basically that is what that is, and I think for a £5 that's going to keep me busy for a while. Certainly longer than perhaps some of the White Dwarfs do, because it's got plenty in there to keep me busy. And the artwork. One thing I always say is that the artwork never ever has they've always got good artwork for their publications, I think. Some nice paint jobs as well. Let's have a look at those. So yeah, you'll probably see him in the lineups in the future, along with an Imperial Guardsman. I think that's probably how I'll do it. I'll get one of my unmade Cadians and build one up for you guys. Right, so that's that. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you've got this and read it, and what you think of the new Warhammer 40,000 edition. I'm open to everybody's advice or suggestions, or perhaps I should just leave it alone. There you go, guys. I'll catch you next time. Cheers. Bye bye.